When I went to Carpinteria with my why isn't it focusing? I enjoyed it, but at the same time, it was kind of stressful. I'm gonna explain some of the stuff that I've been through in my life. That trip, my brother got mad at me. I made a video. He doesn't like it when I record people without asking them first. The next day, things got even worse. He went to my favorite restaurant without me 3 days before my birthday. Kind of effed up. All right, I'm just gonna point out again. Look. Of the stuff all being left out that could be easily put away. So, yeah. This is probably the most egregious. The empty bottles, and cans, and bags, and why? Why would you keep the cornhole set in the middle of the living room, in the middle of the whole place? Suitcases, like, what is this? Like, this is right where we walk through. This is the middle. This is literally the middle of the whole place where they're keeping all this stuff. This is my brother's friend's stuff. But I'm the asshole, right? I wasn't trying to call anybody out until I was getting called out. Like, what is this? This is my family's trip, and like, they're welcome to come on our trip, but I just want to point out, that's my board over there, like tucked in the corner, out of the way, how things should be. My mom isn't happy about this shit. Show some respect for the person that's paying for everything.
No, it's that one on the corner, or next to the Italian place.
Going to Santa Barbara to get the best tacos in the world.
You guys go home Sunday? Or Monday?
Yeah, Sunday.
You know, like, oh no, this is like something. I can tell by the look on his face. Like, I'm just reading the situation, and I'm like, no, this is not.
All right, Dave. I don't want to be.
That's my oldest friend, Roby. He does not like being on camera.
That's the mount. That's the. One day I'll have a house up there. Hopefully.
Huh?
Super Rica. Oh. Hey, I thought you didn't want to get in the shot.
No, I didn't know what you were doing.
I want to show you guys what the beach looks like at 7 in the morning. Coffee's being brewed. There it is. Glassy AF. Actually, there's a little breeze. My brother got sanctimonious again yesterday. I think my brother always judged me negatively for some reason. We had a good relationship, and then my mom got this new boyfriend, and I only knew him for a few days, and then my mom, she's always like yelled at me. She has like a weird attitude. Like, she could be really caring, but then like she can also like kind of lose her mind and get really selfish. She got this new boyfriend that I had just met, and then a few days later, she's yelling at me, and then he's like spraying me with the hose, because he's like got the hose, he's like rinsing down my mom's car. And then this guy that I just met, he breaks my nose, and then he starts kicking me on the ground to the point where I was unconscious. Like, I woke up like 50 feet away on my neighbor's lawn. He kicked me. The kick that got me unconscious, that made me unconscious, was to the body. It wasn't even to the head. I mean, I think. I don't know. Damage to my body was extensive. It caused a hernia, an inguinal hernia, broke my nose. I had to go get help from a neurologist years later. Before that day, my brother and I we used to play like Nintendo 64 every day, you know, GoldenEye. And then after that, my mom didn't want me living at her house anymore, because obviously, like, I went to the cops, which she was pissed off about that. She literally was trying to destroy evidence. She took my bloody shirt and washed it. I left with my brother because my brother was scared and he wanted to go with me. So, and we lived a couple blocks from the police station, or like 2 miles. And so I drove to the police station with my brother, and then my mom's calling me, telling me that I'm kidnapping my brother. Since then, I've learned not to answer my mom's phone calls, by the way. It's because it's just generally not going to be anything good. You know, and I hate to say that because I do love my mom. But she needs help. I mean, we all need help. You know, just not all of us are getting the help. My brother's dad, who I was really close with, by the way, out of all the people in my life that died, probably all of our biggest loss, losing him. So my brother went through a lot at, you know, a critical age, early teenage years. Essentially, he like lost me and lost his dad all in a short period of time. And like, of course, like I didn't mean to like not be around, but I was going through hell. My whole life has been really tough. And, you know, of course, like, you know, that thing I was telling you about the Briggs and Myers and that I think I might be an INFJ, finding that out might change my life. Because now I understand, like, I need to interact with the world differently. Because I'm just so different than everybody else. Like, that's why it's been so tough. Like, I always knew I was a lot different, but didn't have to be a problem. Or it was hard for me to identify how I was different. And now that I'm reading about INFJ, I'm identifying with so much of the qualities that I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is gonna help me with my communication with people in general so much. So I'm just gonna keep working on that. And that's what I mean by like, people need to get help. You need to work on yourself and like try to understand yourself more. So many people, they go through their whole life and they never really do that. Now we're old. That was like 20 years ago that incident happened. I went to the police. Nobody came with me to court, which gave me like so much anxiety. I thought this guy was gonna try to kill me or something. Like I was so scared. Surprised, like not even my dad went to court with me. But I mean, he had to work. The guy went to the first court date. I explained to the bailiff just how savage the beating was, and he was shocked. I can't remember what happened on the first court date. I think they just postponed it, and then they gave us another court date. And then that one, the guy, his name's Claude, by the way, he never showed up. And the guy, I believe he was Canadian, so I think maybe he went back to Canada. Like, I'm really not sure. So that was that. I'm all beat up, bruised up. I'm getting no help from, you know, like medical help, no kind of therapy. And I'm just left to deal with it myself, which seems kind of weird to me. I don't understand. Like, I thought my parents would have understood that at that point, like, I needed help. I probably need to see like all kinds of doctors, but I mean, no, my dad took me to Olive View, which was the county hospital, to have my nose looked at, and they told me that I had to re-break it after it heals in order to fix it. So I was like, fuck that. Oh, here they are right now.
Walking over to the coffee shop, probably. That's my brother and his wife and his friend. Speak of the devil.
That's Santa Barbara right there. That little piece of land you can see up there, where I went to tacos last night. I feel really terrible because, like, I miss my brother a lot, but my mom was there. Where my brother was, my mom was. For those next several years, not long after that happened, my mom was like, you need to go. Your dad and I are gonna give you a few $100 a month, find an apartment. Just like overwhelmed by this, you know, the idea of having to get an apartment. You know, I didn't make a lot of money, and I was really concerned about like being able to pay bills. Like, am I gonna be able to do this? But I was excited, and also, at this point, I believe I just turned 23 years old. Like, I was definitely like at an age, and then considering my issues with my mother, like it was probably best that I leave. So that was all a good thing, but I just felt like it was pretty traumatic to go through. And I was also going to college. It's so hard to have a job, pay bills, and go to college full time. Really was fortunate. I ended up finding a low-income apartment in a nice part of Northridge, not far from my mom and my dad. My mom and my dad at this time, like, they didn't live together. My mom and my dad, they divorced when I was 3 years old. And the reason they've lived together for the last, like, over 10 years is because it saves them money. They're able to get a bigger house because rent's expensive. So I move into my apartment and I'm just figuring it out. I spent very little time with my brother after that point. And I feel like my brother never really doesn't understand like what hell I went through. Even though he was 10 years younger than me and I wouldn't expect him to be there for me, but like he's never been there for me at all. And any of my, you know, when I got hernia surgery, when that happened, I feel like my mother was like actively trying to turn him against me. Like, I just don't understand what's going on. It just makes me want to run away, like, and not even just deal with anybody. Because it just seems so like gross the way I've been treated over the years. But I gotta say, like, you know, my mom, she's like, if you met her, you'd think she's great. Like, she has a lot of great qualities. Apologizing isn't one of them. And I know that, you know, she's like, it can't be healthy for her, you know, to not apologize and to be a part of all this terrible things. Like, I mean, she did bad things, you know, but most of the time, like, you know, she's just taking care of people, you know, feeding people, like doing good things. It's a really crazy story. So here we are in Carpinteria, and you know, my brother, he's being a dick. You know, he was telling me that I shouldn't record people without their permission. Now he's telling me yesterday, like, we go to get in the car to go to my favorite food in the world, La Superica in Santa Barbara. And his friends and his wife, they don't want to put the headrests in the back seats because they took them out to load the car. And I told him, like, I told his friend, like, hey, grab the headrest behind you. And he's like, oh no, I don't care. My brother's wife sitting back there too, she's like, oh yeah, you know, I'm not worried about it. And I'm just like, guys, come on. Like, I walk around, I open the back, I pop in the headrest, and I said, I'm not gonna let you guys do some stupid shit when it comes to safety. I get in the front seat, and I'm like, oh, should I put my seatbelt on? It's so much trouble to reach over and grab the seatbelt and click it, you know? You know, I was just being obnoxious. I didn't think that it was that harmful. At that point, I'm being reprimanded by my brother who's in the driver's seat. I'm in the passenger seat in the front. And he's telling me, like, don't be mean to people. Blah, 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 blah. And he's like going on, and I'm just like, I don't think it was that mean. Like, and he's like, well, we do think it's mean, and we don't want you to treat us that way, and blah, 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 blah. I'm not sorry. Like, you guys are just, you need the headrest. It's a safety issue, you know. And so for some reason, my attitude is a problem. Well, the way they're like the aggressive way that I'm being scalded because I'm too mean to him and his friends and his wife, that was disrespectful. What I did wasn't disrespectful. Like, they felt stupid because they didn't know what the fuck they were talking about, and somehow that makes me mean. You know what? And if I was mean, then so be it. Like, that was ridiculous. Like, just put the headrests in. Stop being lazy. And let me tell you, like, you saw the way the hotel room looks. Like, I'm already heated by how lazy they are. It's like, clean up your shit. Don't leave empty bottles all over the fucking place. Like, are you kidding me? Like, the ultimate laziness. So yeah, if I was mean, then good. I don't even know how to respond to this. So I'm like, do you want me to just leave? You know, should I just get out of the car? And they're like, well, my dad, he's acting like he's my dad. My brother's like, oh, well, you don't have to go, but if you're gonna come with us, you can't be mean. Like, you can't, like, it's not within your boundary to tell me how to act. Like, yeah, if you don't want me around you, then fine. But don't be a pussy, just fucking say it. Like, the worst thing I can do is probably stay in this car, because I'm pissed. My brother looks like he's pissed at me, all because they can't take a little criticism. I wish it happened in my car so I could just pull the dash cam footage and show you. You know, I think a big part of this situation, my brother, he just got his first place, bought a condo, and him and his wife, they've been living with my parents for years. And he's finally saved up enough money, and he's getting his life together. He's getting hyper sanctimonious because getting his life together and he feels like he has something to contribute and that he can tell people what to do. You know, it kind of runs in my mother's family to get that way, to tell people what to do and have an opinion on other people's lives. Because I've been through so much in my life that you don't know what other people are going through, and you don't know what's best for other people. You know, another thing is my brother is like somewhat of a counselor and a chaplain. I want to have a good relationship with the members of my family. And this is one of those moments where I just realized, like, wow, I don't know if that's possible. My friend, someone that's probably more of a brother to me than my brother, and he said that, you know, my brother and I need to hash it out. I feel like that's not possible until my brother grows up a little bit, because it seems like so many conversations with my brother end up being a debate, which is great. I love that. I so appreciate that about him, you know, that he wants to debate topics. I really enjoy it. My goal in any debate is to seek truth. That's what's so great about a debate is, you know, I can sit there by myself and seek the truth. But if I have people to seek the truth with through debate or research, we often find more information, more data together than I would have by myself. I just love that about my brother. The problem is he always wants to win the debate. I like to be right. I strive to be right, but I want to know if I'm wrong and accept it so that later on I can be right. It's really strenuous to debate with somebody that always wants to win because they always use tactics. Bullying tactics is, I feel like, his most popular move. Another one would be like just to make stuff up. Like, you know, with the Rosa Parks thing, when he's like, well, what group? He's not from any kind of marginalized group, so it can't be a civilized civil rights issue. And I'm just like, no, like, civil rights is for all citizens. It's, you don't have to be, as long as you're a citizen of the United States, then you have civil rights. Like, it doesn't matter what group. Of course, like, he just won't accept that. Like, for some reason in his mind, like, there has to be a group, and until you prove otherwise, he's right. Look it up. Just look up civil rights. It's really hard to debate with somebody that just can't be wrong. Have the talk. Literally go over the last 20 years of our lives to explain to him, like, whatever grudge you have against me, like, I've been through a lot, man. Like, you need to give me a break. It's one of those little yapper dogs barking at a poodle. So yeah, that's where I am. It's really upsetting. Like, at this point, the way I feel, like, I'm like, still, I feel like I'm angry. I could be totally wrong about this, but I'm even angry at his friends, his wife and his two friends that were in the car. Because I feel like it's one thing to say something to me like, hey, we don't like your attitude. That's acceptable. You know, like, I would do the same thing if I didn't like somebody's attitude. But to go to my favorite taco place, first of all, it shouldn't have got to treating me like a child, because my brother's not my dad. It certainly shouldn't have gone to me getting out of the car and not going to the taco place. It's like, just get over it. Like, that's just not how you treat your family, you know? And it's not like I was told, like, oh, apologize or don't come with. I was just like, dude, like, I was being, you know, like, it's hypocritical. Like, here I am being told that I had an attitude, but then I'm being given an even worse attitude. They all just think that they're innocent and perfect. Like, how do you deal with that? Like, what can I do? You want to be like a real friend to them. But then the more you try, you start to realize, like, you're never gonna get in. Like, they won't allow it. I'm so happy that my brother is, like, doing well in his life and making good choices. Some people's family members are, like, in and out of prison or addicts. Like, they steal. Oh, dude, could you imagine, like, what if my brother was, like, somebody that, like, steals from their family or something? Like, and it's none of that. Like, he's a good dude that does good things for the world, so... Like, I don't want to seem like I'm, like, shitting all over my family. Like, they're good people. Sometimes they're hypocrite. I'm a hypocrite sometimes. But, like, this particular issue, I wish I was better in the moment. Like, I don't really like confrontation very much. Feel the stress of the confrontation, right? The anxiety. And then it's hard for me to, like, use the right words to express myself in the moment. It's like, I'm the type of person that I need to reflect on it for a while, and then I can, oh, that was savage. Like, wait, come up with all kinds of realizations. after the fact. I'm always second guessing myself. Like, that's just the type of personality I have. Dealing with somebody that's like a bully or a narcissist, it's really hard for me to deal with them properly because I often absorb people's emotions and I really like things to be harmonious. And a lot of times I'll sacrifice myself for the harmony. And it's really bad, and I need to stop doing that. Here we are, we're still on vacation. We got like another day here. I hate being like a grudge holder, but that's the way I feel right now. I feel like a grudge. Like, I don't want to look at anybody. I don't want to talk to any of them. I feel like I deserve an apology. Like, how dare you go there without me? Like, it could have been so much differently. Like, in the moment we were in the car, I already have a dad, thank you. Should I just get out of the car? No. Just don't be mean. And then let's drive away. Don't continue to act like you're my fucking dad. And when I do get out of the car, don't just take off. You know, my brother, every time we come here every year. And usually we can't, but right now we're staying in condos. But every year my brother will bring up a few friends. They like don't want anybody to hang out with them. Form this little clique, and it's always been that way. Post-processing, when I started to think about that, it made me realize, like, wait, maybe they just didn't even want me to go. They just don't even want me there. Like, maybe they just don't even like me. And if that's the case, I wish they would just tell me. I don't know if something was said, but for the record, things look a little better this morning. It's 10:22. And check it out. They cleaned up. They made their beds, or they put their beds away. So the living room is habitable. Suitcases and stuff off to the side. They put the cornhole set over here out of the way. Things are looking a lot better. Cool. Let's see how my mom and I's room looks. Are we the pot calling the kettle black? This is my mom's stuff. This is my stuff. We got the pool room too. You look outside and you see the pool.
What kind of phone is that? It's almost
What if I drop it?
I think it all
There
depends
goes the
on
iPhone
the
cover.
I've dropped it a couple of times, so.
Yeah.
Hey.